here's the pithy saying to remember by, you gotta close. And you're like, man, that is a pithy statement. It's what? 3 words and one of them's a big contraction, gotta. You gotta close because so many people go into an interview with energy and enthusiasm and leave with questions. I want to leave an interview with confidence. As an interviewer, I want to be confident in the candidate's interest and competency. As a candidate, I want to leave confident that I'm probably going to get the next step here. That can be an interesting balancing act. There's a lot of stuff floating around on the internet about, well, you should really push about, hey, is there any reason you see why I shouldn't have this job or anything you could see stopping me from getting this job, any gaps, Number one, don't ask binary questions. Reference rule number 3 of the framework. But number 2, you may recall a poet laureate we have here in the United States named Maya Angelou, excuse me, doing this off the top of my head. I don't remember a whole lot in terms of poetry she wrote. I read some of it in years past, but I remember a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, that she didn't remember how someone, what they did, what they said, but she sure remembered how they made her feel. And I take that to heart. So when we look at closing an interview, it's very important that we consider how we leave that interviewer feeling. I want them feeling confident in my interest and competence. Well, how do I do that? Number 1, you don't do it by asking a question that makes people feel awkward. Okay, 3, 4, 5 days later, they're debriefing with the team, because remember, hiring is a team sport in most organizations. They're debriefing with the team. What's the first thing that comes to mind when they hear your name or pull your resume out? I felt kind of awkward about this guy. Yeah, he's too pushy, too milquetoast, wrong personality for the team. They're going to remember what they feel and then look for a reason to justify it. I prefer to use what I call a 2-step affirmative close. And 2-step affirmative close is real simple. I've got an affirmative statement, and I buttress that with an affirmative question. For example, and you put your own spin on this, however you want to do it, but this is just for example. Well, I got to tell you, I'm extremely excited about this opportunity. I think it aligns well with what I've done. I could see myself having a really positive impact with the team and the company. What are your thoughts on the timing for our next steps? So I have an affirmative statement affirming my interest, and I have a question supporting that affirmative question, i.e. what's next? When's it coming? Okay? When I say that, I stop talking and I listen. Now, I don't have specific statistics on this, but typically 25-30% of the time, the interviewer will tell you exactly what's next and what to expect. The rest of the time, they're going to be a little dodgy about it. They're not going to be outright because, again, hiring is a team sport. Doesn't really matter because you're not going to leave them feeling awkward. You're going to leave them feeling confident in your interest and your competency, and that's what you want. You don't want to put yourself in a position of being the person they remember that made them feel awkward or made them feel like they were backed into a corner. Because again, most individual interviewers you meet with can't give you a yes or no. When you interview in a panel, the panel typically can't give you a yes or no because they've got to talk amongst themselves. Hiring's a team sport. Stack the deck in your favor. Rather than being pushy, rather than leave them feeling awkward, leave them feeling confident. Because again, if you follow this framework, it doesn't give you all the answers, but it tells you to go in being yourself, to be authentic, which goes to integrity, frankly, being consistent front to back. It tells you to, instead of telling people how great you are, show them with your examples. Bring your career to life with the value impact you've had and are going to have for them, hopefully. Ask great questions so you can not only showcase your intellectual curiosity and the fact that you know the right questions to ask, but also that you are interested. You want to know more. And you're not asking about frivolous stuff. Hey, what kind of pizza do y'all order once a month? No. Focus in on what's important. Focus in on their culture, i.e. how they go about doing business. Focus in on the value impact they need so that you can address it properly. 4th, close. Remember, we're not looking to slap them in the face with a close. We're simply looking to take them down the road of me being the right person to pull the trigger on, me being the right person to hire. So that's the 4-point interview framework. I really appreciate if you watched all 4 parts of this series, and I hope here that this is something that's beneficial to you. A lot of this information is out there and available, but it's putting it together in a regimen and having something that you go practice that makes a difference. For example, one little nugget that you can take away from this is if you take the 4 points, especially point number 2, don't tell me, show me, and you write those things out in the 2 to 5 sentence format, go in front of a mirror or a video camera, read them out loud to yourself. If they sound awkward, rewrite it. But get some reps in, get some practice in, because most of the people you're competing against when you go interview don't do that. They wait till the last minute, or they figure it out on the fly in the interview, and that is a trap. Stack the deck in your favor, get some practice in, do the homework, and go out there and succeed. Thanks so much for joining me.